Baby.
Shaking that ass.
Hi, I'm Andrew,
Hi, I'm Shelton.
and this is An Amazing Show.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall down.
In today's show,
We'll be looking into Anicom, Teased Animation and Comic Society, and we'll be interviewing each of its members.
we take a trip down memory lane in our nostalgia section,
We review the latest Gundam series, Gundam Build Fighters Try.
and we'll discuss the latest goings on in our news segment.
So, let's begin with the show. And we're back again on the An Amazing Show. Right now, I'm at Anicom and I interview each of its members individually, and they'll give me their own opinion on the future of anime and Anicom. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, my first question is what is Anicom?
Anicom is the Teesside University's Animation and Comic Society. It's essentially just a collection of like geeks and that are interested in animation and comics and nerdy things. It's a way for us to socialise and meet together with us.
Definitely developing in terms of different ideas for stories and stuff like that. Like it's no longer just people fighting like unachievable heights and stuff like that. It can also have like typical movie things, so like romance and comedy and all of this sort of thing.
What do you think is the future of anime in your opinion? Is it changing? Is it developing? Anything like that?
Well, yeah, it's changing all the time. Like, if you look at an anime that was made, say, in the 80s and compare it to something that was made just last year, for example, the styles, the general style has changed massively.
Yeah, there's definitely a change, especially with like plots as well. You see, like compared to 80s, 90s anime, today you have more complex plots and more like there's deeper meanings behind like the storylines and stuff, and it can be quite dark as well.
So, did you enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it too. That was Anicom right now, and everyone you just saw there was a fellow member of Anicom and anime fan. Right now, we have Andy back in the studio interviewing one of its members called Peter. So, enjoy that. See you later.
And we're back. We're joined now by Peter, who will tell us a bit more about Anicom. So, Peter, what is it about Anicom that makes you go there?
Well, I've always been a fan of animation ever since I was very young. I used to watch all animated films, be it Disney or DreamWorks or what have you. And when I came to uni, I felt like I needed to make an effort to socialise, join a society. And so I thought, what better society to join than the one based around animation?
Well, of course. Like, what is it about? Like, is it just Western animation, or is it just a bit more?
No, we watch a variation of shows. Every other week we watch a Western film and Japanese film. We watch them bi-weekly. And every Thursday we watch a collection of different shows, stuff like Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, as well as all the animes and stuff like that.
You see, with Legend of Korra, what are your opinions of it tackling a bit more like serious issues like post-traumatic stress disorder and like lesbianism?
I think that it's fantastic. I think that it's not only does it tackle it in a really good way, but it's really important that these sort of issues are shown to children in a way that isn't condescending to them or too difficult for them to understand. And Legend of Korra tackles it in such a good way in that it's good for the children and the children can appreciate it, but it's also enjoyable for the adults to appreciate what they're seeing as well.
You said that you went last year to Anicom. Has it changed at all, or?
It's improved greatly. Last year the socializing aspect wasn't as good. There wasn't very much communication. The leadership didn't really listen to what people wanted to put on and just put on whatever they wanted. Lots of freshers were at the start of last year, and by the end of it there was 3, including me. This year there's new leadership. Everything's much better. There's a much greater social aspect to it. So it's far better, and as a result there's far more freshers who stayed on to stay in the society and pay for membership.
So whereabouts is it, and where do I go to get it?
Anicom is on every Tuesday and Thursday night at 6 o'clock in OL1.
Oh. Well, if you want to go to Anicom and see what it's all about, I mean, head on down, really. But we'll be back in a moment with our nostalgia section. But first, I'll just have to say thank you, Peter, for having you on.
No problem.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall.
Welcome to the Nostalgia Corner, our look back at some of the shows that really shaped our childhoods and what they really mean to us.
That's right, Shelton. And today we'll be reminiscing about the best shows we all watched as kids.
So, Andrew, what would you say was a defining show growing up?
Well, me, like I'm sure many others, would say they absolutely adored Pokemon growing up.
Really? So, what was it about Pokemon you liked so much about it?
It was truly like Ash's never give up attitude, and you never knew if he was going to win or not, but you watched anyway because you'd never give up.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped a lot of kids through exams, it helped me through my school life. It's just a mantra, just keep achieving your dreams eventually.
I mean, you mentioned that kids nowadays are being able to watch Ash, Pokemon. But what are your thoughts on shows like Digimon and Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh? Always have to be rebooted with new characters, new plots, new theme song. It's just not the same thing as I watched it.
Well, it's still got the same heart to it. It's still the same thing. It's just I can watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Zale thanks to my mum being a childminder, and like as much as I watched the Yugi and the Pharaoh, kids now can watch Yuma and Astral in their adventures. I mean, it's the same heart, it's the same soul, it's still the same principle.
Yeah. But, I mean, in my own personal opinion, I think they should give way for new things. I mean, who wants to keep watching the same shows constantly rehashed until they just flat out runs of ideas? There's one show I wish did stay as it was, Beyblades.
Oh, I take it Beyblade dominated your childhood as well.
Yeah. I remember how cool it all was, Tyson, Kai, the Beyblades, the theme song, the characters. Oh, it was the best.
So did you try and like recreate it at all?
Yeah, I remember the Beyblade Stadium. I remember my Dragoon was like one of the best in the playground. It was a lot of fun. I remember, right, whoever had the Beyblade Stadium was like the king of the school. That was the one person or the one kid you always had to look on. That kid just became instantly, insanely popular because of that.
Those were truly the days.
Yeah, they were. But enough about the past, let's move on to the present. We have done a review on the latest ongoings of anime, and it's a really good one, so watch it.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall.
Gundam Build Fighters Try is the latest in the ever-popular Gundam series and sequel series to last year's smash hit Build Fighters. For those who've not lived under a rock for the past 30 years and have never even heard of Gundam, what it basically boils down to is really fucking awesome robots beating the shit out of each other. And Gunpla is the plastic models you can buy in real life to build and recreate your favourite mecha from the show.
Gundam Build Fighters proved last fall that taking a more down-to-earth approach to the series and following with these kids, fighting and building with these models can more than work. And in my own personal opinion, eclipses the more mainline Gundam series.
So, following much of the same beats as its predecessor, but with a fresh new cast, Build Fighters Try follows three unlikely friends. The rash, martial-obsessed Sekai Kamiki, Gundam-obsessed Fumina Hoshino, and the cold-collected Gunpla builder Yuma Kosaka, brother of last series' China, as they form a team to try, see, it's a genius title, and win the Gunpla Build Championship World Tournament. Whoa, that's a mouthful.
It's a nice basic story, and it doesn't pretend to be anything. It's not. Episodes are essentially split into two. The first half centers around our main trio, which is 1/3 slice of life, 1/3 comedy, and 1/3 romantic shipping feel. And it does add a bit of variety to the proceedings, and it's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, the animation quality is not the best.
But that's because the budget goes on the latter half of the episodes, and it's here that the show truly shines. The epic fight scenes, the clashing of mecha in multiple terrain with smart strategy and awesome moments galore. They look beautiful, they feel intense, and they're incredibly replayable.
That's the thing about Build First Try, though. Everything is paced nicely, and episodes can be watched again and again and again.
It's just all one crazy thrill ride you need to see to believe.
Gundam may feature some pretty great fight scenes, but there's one anime that's probably the pinnacle of epic hour-long fight scenes, which brings us nicely to our new segment.
Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods was released in March 2013. The English dub was released in October 2014.
Dragon Ball Z ended in January 1996, but it is considered one of the greatest anime ever made by Akira Toriyama. Battle of the Gods starts with the Buu Saga, where a new threat appears, apparently the strongest Dragon Ball Z villain of all time.
When Goku can't defeat him alone, he must find out the secrets of the Super Saiyan God to win. Battle of the Gods is one of the greatest anime movies to date, and it really does heavily influence the Dragon Ball Z franchise. IGN give the English dub a 7.5 out of 10, praising the animation, fight scenes, and the thrill of the final battle. I strongly recommend Dragon Ball Z fans to watch it.
We're all begging for Akira Toriyama for more adventures, and we're rooting for her as well. Lucky for us, the success of the movie has announced a sequel. Here's Andy with more.
Well, Shelton, you are correct. Dragon Ball Z Fukatsu no F, the 15th Dragon Ball Z movie, has been revealed. The Fukatsu in the title stands for resurrection, and the F means none other than iconic Dragon Ball villain, Frieza. That's right, folks, Frieza is back, and as we could deduce from the key visual, he's going to be tougher than ever before.
The visual also reveals Lord Beerus and as well his assistant Wiz, and show off two new characters, Sorbet and Togma, who may be the key to Frieza's revival.
Frieza is a personal favourite villain of mine, so to say I'm hyped is a severe understatement.
Unfortunately, it isn't all good news for the anime industry lately, as a local Middlesbrough fan has just been found guilty of possessing indecent and downright pedophile images drawn in anime style. This is not the first time he's been found with this kind of offences, and it's unlikely he'll be the last. It does bring up a few questions though. I mean, with the rise of waifu, meaning choosing an anime wife culture, giving anime fans a really bad reputation.
It's people like this with these collections of pornographic imagery and of anime and manga characters, and especially child characters, that make us kind of want to keep my enjoyment of these things under wraps for fear I'll be put in the same camp as them. I mean, basically you have to question yourself. Is it the artists that create the images to blame? Is it the individuals that are hunting them down? Or are we as a society not doing enough to stop this from happening? I'm sure we can agree on one thing though. It needs to stop. In a bit brighter news, however, the English dub casting for Funimation's take on swimming anime Free Eternal Summer has been announced. Todd Haberkorn, best known as Def the Kid from Soul Eater, plays protagonist Haru, a quiet boy who only swims freestyle. Best friend Makoto will be played by Johnny Young Bosch, also known as Ichigo from Bleach.
Comedy duo Nagisa and Ray will be played by Greg Aries and J. Michael Tatum respectively, and Haru's intense rival Rin will be voiced by the great Vig Mignogna, who anime fans will know best as Fullmetal Alchemist Edo Delric. Overall, I think the casting news is really fantastic, and there's some really strong voices here.
I watched the sub during the summer, and the anime is bloody brilliant. If you like sports anime, I implore you to definitely check this out when it hits.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall down.
Well, it appears that's all we have time for, but it's been a bit of a creative ride, hasn't it?
It has, and as much as we'd love to continue, it's become time for us to say goodbye.
That's right, but be sure to tune in next time for more great discussion, features and news.
But until then, it's cheerio from me,
It's goodbye from me.
and farewell from everyone in the studio.
See you next time.